My research is more towards the modern landscape, the modern people, and how people live on the landscape, their economies and their subsistences. The reason why I have a passion for this is because through the years, we've learned that people change their economies and settlements depending on how the climate or how the environment changes or the variation that are brought about by climate change. If you look at the Koobi Fora region itself, there are a lot of factors that influence the climate and the seasons within the locality. So it is important to understand how the local community, who are the Dassanech, are able to cope with those changes, whether they have continued with their past subsistences and settlements, or whether they are changing depending on what is available on the landscape for them. And for example, for the Dassanech, if you look at their main economy, it's pastoralism. But in the more recent, they have started including fishing in their economy because those are some of the resources that are available to them today.
We are here because of the Koobi Fora Field School, and we have a student who is interested in ethnoarchaeology. And today we visited a village called Ekimere, which is a fishing village in the northern part of Kenya, in Turkana. And many of these people here are Dassanech, like the people we've been visiting in the previous times, but their economies here is different. The fishermen here, they do net fishing. After they bring their fish, they just like dry the fish and get off the intestines. And the way they preserve fish here is they wash it with the saline water. They bring salt from the traders and then dry the fish. Some of the fish is sold to the traders, and some of the fish is being consumed by the local people here. I suppose the reason that they are far from the lake is because of their contact with the traders, because driving in the sand will be a bit difficult for the traders to get all the way there. And then again, during flooding, when they have more rains, probably the lake will well up all the way to the shore. And the kind of their house structures is not really resilient to the flooding that they would get if they would stay closer to the shore. They understand climate change in terms of seasons, like when it's dry, prolonged dryness or prolonged rainfall. And for fishermen, the more the rain, the better for them.
Climate change especially has affected them in these times when there is increased flooding, and that has resulted into drowning of animals. And the old man for this homestead was able to tell us that he uses his animals to determine on whether if the river floods and he just lets his livestock go out, and if the animals decide to go out grazing, he'll know that there won't be much flooding. But the animals themselves are able to sense whether it's going to be serious of drought or not. So they use that traditional knowledge to be able to predict and adapt to different aspects of climate change. The project that we work in actually to be able to acquire data to inform the government that when they enact these policies, the policies that are culturally sensitive, the communities' cultural needs are taken into consideration, and also there is a lot to benefit in which the policymakers can benefit by incorporating indigenous knowledge of predicting the weather and cultural ways of coping into that. It's from this kind of knowledge that our ancestors were able to adapt and navigate the effects of climate change way in the past, that were able to prosper into the present complex, globalized society that we have today.